Detective Mark Rains stared at the pendant, realizing this was the missing piece they needed.
It was supposed to be a quiet morning in the small town of Riverview, a place where everyone knew each other, and crime was just something they watched on TV. But at exactly 7:42 a.m., a call came into 911 that changed everything. A woman's trembling voice whispered, "There's blood everywhere." Then the line went dead. Detective Mark Rains was halfway through his first coffee when the dispatch came through. Possible homicide. 1432 Willow Creek Drive. The same address where the Anderson family lived. The picture-perfect couple with a 7-year-old daughter. Mark had been on the force long enough to know that sometimes the most peaceful neighborhoods hid the darkest secrets. When he arrived, the front door was wide open. Inside, the morning sunlight cut across the living room, lighting up a trail of crimson stains on the hardwood floor. A woman's purse lay spilled beside the couch, her phone buzzing endlessly with missed calls. Upstairs, he found the husband, David Anderson, sitting motionless on the edge of the bed, his white shirt soaked in blood. In his hand was a kitchen knife. "I didn't do it," he kept repeating. "I woke up and she was just gone." The victim was identified as Emily Anderson, 34, a beloved school teacher known for her kindness. The community couldn't believe it. But for Mark, something didn't add up. There were no signs of forced entry, no fingerprints except for the husband's. And yet, the blood splatter on the walls told a story that didn't match David's version. As forensic teams worked the scene, Mark noticed something strange, a faint shoe print leading out the back door. It was small, too small to be David's. When he followed it, it disappeared near the fence as if whoever left it knew exactly where the backyard camera didn't reach. Later that night, Mark sat in his office staring at the caseboard. He couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching the Anderson family long before this happened. He requested the neighborhood's security footage. That's when he saw it. At 2:17 a.m., a shadow moved across the street. A tall man in a black hoodie carrying something metallic. The footage was grainy, but one frame showed his wrist, tattooed with a faded cross. The next morning, Mark visited the local diner, where old-timers usually had the town gossip before anyone else. "You know who's back?" one of them said quietly. "Jake Hollins. Just got out of prison last week." Jake was Emily's ex-boyfriend, arrested years ago for assaulting her after she broke off their relationship. Mark drove straight to Jake's trailer. It was filthy, dark, and smelled like gasoline. When Jake opened the door, he smirked. "Detective, you miss me?" His knuckles were bruised. "You hear about Emily?" Mark's instincts screamed. "Where were you last night?" Jake shrugged. "Home, alone." But Mark saw something on the counter, a small metal pendant shaped like a heart. The same pendant Emily was wearing in her last photo, taken just 2 days before she died. Jake noticed his eyes drift. "You think I did it, don't you? But you don't know the truth, detective. You never do." Mark ordered a search warrant. Inside a locked box under Jake's bed, officers found a USB drive. On it were dozens of photos, all of Emily taken from a distance. Some from months ago, some from the very night of her death. When confronted with the evidence, Jake's calm cracked. "She ruined my life," he shouted. "She chose him over me. I just wanted to talk." But the digital timestamps proved he was outside her house hours before the murder. Still, one thing didn't fit: the timeline. The coroner's report showed Emily died around 3:20 a.m., but Jake's car was caught on camera leaving town at 3:05. He couldn't have been both places at once. Mark sat in silence, replaying every detail in his head. What if there were two people that night? He returned to the Anderson home, rechecking the upstairs room. That's when he found a second glass on the nightstand, with lipstick not matching Emily's usual color. Forensics ran the prints. They matched a name Mark didn't expect: Lydia Park. She was David Anderson's co-worker, the woman Emily once accused him of having an affair with. When questioned, Lydia's composure cracked instantly. "He told me it was over," she said, crying. But she wouldn't stop calling, wouldn't stop threatening to tell everyone. That night, he said he'd handle it. I thought he meant talk to her. I didn't know he meant, but Mark noticed the slip. He said he'd handle it. "Yes," she whispered. "But I swear, I never saw her that night." Mark replayed the door camera footage again, and there it was. A reflection on the glass window, barely visible. Two figures entering the house that night, not one. When confronted, David finally broke. "It wasn't supposed to happen," he muttered. "She attacked me first. I was trying to stop her, but evidence showed otherwise. The knife had Lydia's fingerprints, not Emily's. And the final blow? A confession text on David's hidden phone, drafted but unsent. It's done. She's gone. No one will ever know. The trial that followed shook the town. The perfect husband, the secret lover, and the obsessed ex, all tangled in one web of lies, jealousy, and betrayal. In the end, David and Lydia were convicted of second-degree murder. Jake, though disturbed, was cleared of the actual killing but charged for stalking. Months later, Detective Mark Rains drove past the Anderson house one last time. The for sale sign swayed in the wind. He thought about how darkness hides behind smiles, and how sometimes the most dangerous crimes begin with love that turns rotten. As he pulled away, his phone buzzed. Another call. Another whisper from a town that never truly sleeps. "Detective Rains?" A voice said. "You need to see this. Another body just turned up." And just like that, the story started again.